all-new Ricki starts now.
Stress isn't all in our minds. It can have serious effects on our body. Here to give us the lowdown is medical doctor and yoga instructor, Dr. Sara Gottfried. Sara, thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
As a culture, as a society, we have become more stressed.
We're definitely more stressed. I would say we have an epidemic of overwhelmed women. And the main cause is stress. And it's making us lose our hormone balance. It's making us cranky and fat, and it's killing our sex drive.
God, I feel like you're looking right at me. I mean, but so what are we to do with it? Because the truth is, you know, we all have to get up. We're all looking for work. We're all trying to make ends meet and take care of our families and make a living and be happy.
You know, what we know, Ricki, is that 95% of diseases are either caused by or worsened by stress. That's a quote from Mark Hyman, family physician. So this is a really important piece to be looking at. It's a crisis that I don't think we deal with well in conventional medicine.
Wow. Well, what can we do today? Because I think all of us are, you know, have our ear to what we're saying. What can we do today to help relieve some of the stress that we have in our lives?
You know, there's so many downstream problems that result from stress. There's mood issues, right? You can get PMS, you can get depression, anxiety, you can have a sense of burnout, sleep issues. And the major problem, as you mentioned, is cortisol. So how do we get cortisol, which tends to be too high when you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed out? How do we get it to that lovely Goldilocks position of not too high and not too low? So my first tip, these are 5 tips that maybe you've never heard of before, is tiara time.
Okay.
Do you want to pick one?
Ooh, I want that one. I want the big crown. All right.
I'm going to wear this one.
Now, my cortisol level is going to go up if it messes with my weave.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, one of the things we think about when it comes to drugs, and I really don't think the answer to health is found in a pill bottle, you really need to find the minimum amount of self-care that's going to help you manage cortisol. Cortisol's like the guy that you dated in high school or college that you knew was a bad idea.
Right. And, oh my God, what an analogy. Okay. All right.
Okay, so tiara time, the idea is
I don't want to take this off.
Yeah, leave it on. Okay. You take a bath, you go listen to music, you signal to your children, to your spouse, to your fellow workers that it's time to leave Sara alone. Leave Ricki alone.
Turn off the Twitter and the friends of Ricki. I love ya, but sometimes you gotta just turn it off.
Unplug.
Yeah.
Unplug.
Okay.
This is called the Emwave, and it's by HeartMath. When I have a woman come to see me in my office who is a total stress case, I had one last week.
Shani in the front row.
So I had a woman last week named Julie, 42, completely stressed out, PMS, no sex drive, and I suggested yoga and meditation, and she rolled her eyes. When that happens, I pull this guy out.
Okay.
So this is a way of measuring your stress level.
All right, you want to test me right now?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Oh,
okay.
No, I don't want to fail. Okay, what do I do?
So press that little part right there. So the idea with this is it measures your heart rate variability. That's the amount of time between each of your heartbeats.
Okay.
And
it's going from red to green.
So green is good.
Green is good?
Green means that you have optimal stress resilience.
All right, so, I mean, because I really work on my stress level, you guys. I meditate, I do TM.
You do. I know.
I mean, I really, because of this job and because of, you know, my age, I really want, it's about quality of life and it's about balance. You know,
yes,
I want to work hard, I want to play hard, and I want to give to my, you know, I'm trying to do it all. And so I really am focusing on my stress and taking supplements. So this is something that I'm practicing.
This is what we want, right?
Good. So, wait, it's green.
It's green. So
that's awesome.
Stop there.
That's awesome. Okay, that is amazing. It's all such great information. Thank you so much for being here.
Very welcome.
I hope you're learning some things. I certainly am. Everyone in the audience is going home with an Emwave desktop by HeartMath to help you de-stress. All right, and if you want information, go to therickilakeshow.com to find out how you can get yours. Up next, could what we eat actually be stressing us out? Dr. Sara reveals the top stress-fighting foods when we come back. All right, I'm here. I did not want to give up the tiara. It's still tiara time. Dr. Sara is here. She's going to tell us you are what you eat. But first, we didn't get to talk about orgasm.
Oh, yes.
Can we talk about the big O and how that affects your stress level?
Yes. So here's what we know. Women who have an orgasm get filled with oxytocin, which is one of the best stress fighters. Oxytocin lowers your cortisol, lowers that main stress hormone, also makes your thyroid work better. So orgasm is a really good way to go.
All right. Well,
3 times a week.
You hear that, honey? I'll be home in about an hour. Okay. All right. Well, let's get to food. So we have here a bunch of food. Here we have some beets. Now, I don't like beets. But how are they good for you?
I didn't love beets growing up either, and then I had beets that were made, steamed perfectly, and so delicious, and so I've turned it around. Beets actually help you with your liver. They help you with detoxifying. They also get rid of bad estrogens, which you need. When you're stressed, you make more of those.
Okay.
Lots of folate, very good for you. Green tea. This is a really great way to speed up metabolism. It doesn't seem to cause as many problems with stress symptoms as regular coffee.
All right, and salmon. This is
wild Alaskan salmon.
Wild Alaskan salmon.
Yes, so this is fish oil, just like we were talking before. This lowers cortisol levels. Very well shown to do this. I prefer that you get things like fish oil from the food itself. I think that's a better way to go than to go with a supplement. That's my first choice.
That looks delicious. Does it matter if it's raw or cooked?
Well, it depends on where it's from.
I love sushi, right? I mean, it doesn't matter.
You still get a benefit from either one.
Okay.
You know, I think raw foodists would say it's probably better to have it raw.
Okay.
As long as it's free of mercury.
Okay.
Avocado. It's like a gigantic berry. That's what an avocado is.
Too bad it doesn't taste like a berry.
So it's full of monounsaturated fat, which is super good for you. Full of fantastic things for you in terms of balancing what you get depleted in when you're stressed. When those little adrenal glands in your mid-back are just pumping out the cortisol and can't keep up.
Okay.
Last but not least, I think you like this.
I like this. I don't have an issue with this. That's chocolate.
So this is dark chocolate. And a study showed that dark chocolate lowers your cortisol level.
Why are you putting that down?
Yeah, here. Let's have some.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
The
Dark
princess
chocolate.
needs some chocolate.
Yeah,
so, okay, so this is any kind of chocolate will do?
So I prefer the higher cacao count.
So
less sugar, more of the cacao. You know, there's many foods that people reach for when they're stressed, like sugar and alcohol. They don't get you what you're hoping for, right?
Well, they get me something sometimes. But that works, and this is actually beneficial
This is beneficial. It lowers cortisol.
That is so awesome. Wait, I wanted to run to the audience.
Yeah.
I know So you've actually changed your eating habits, and you've seen some benefits. Tell us.
I have. Last year, I actually went away to school. I grew up eating all healthy food. I didn't eat my first Twinkie till I was 17. Went away to school, started gaining weight, depression, anxiety. I was put on antidepressants, all sorts, until I almost died last fall. In the middle of the semester, blood infection, horrible, almost died. And then I've been on medical leave. I came home, stayed with my mom. My mom is cooking me all sorts of wonderful things now. I do have one question, though, about that. So I row from 5:30 in the morning to 8:30 in the morning, Monday through Friday.
That's stressing me out, just hearing about it.
And I'd like to know, so what would be the best thing to eat after that hardcore workout?
That's a great question. I would say that's a fantastic time to make a protein smoothie where you have some low glycemic index fruit, like berries, and a really good protein. It'll give you blood sugar stability for that 3 hour.
What about chocolate?
A little chocolate. Chocolate
smoothie?
work? Sure.
Okay. And I know blueberries are like the magic berry,
They're
right?
a superfood. They're fantastic. Low glycemic index. Very good for you.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to hear you're doing better. All right. Now that we know that dark chocolate is good for us, we are sending everyone in our audience home with some delicious dark chocolate from Choco Love. Thank you, Dr. Sara. Up next. We've been talking about everything related to stress. Now it is time for our audience to ask our experts some questions. You had a question. Stand on up. Don't be shy.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I have twins that are 13 years old and a son that's 17, and I'm helping take care of my adult disabled cousin.
What? Okay, so what about your cortisol level?
Oh, crazy. So when I get stressed, either A, I overeat because my husband works nights, so I have that alone time, or B, I get angry and yell. So what can I do to change that?
Ooh.
I would say to realize that you actually have power in the situation. Because most of us feel like we don't. When things are really crazy and out of control, it's natural to want to make those food choices, to be irritable and angry. And actually, people kind of expect it almost. Like, it's just considered normal behavior. Yeah. So I want to tell you that you actually have a lot more power in this situation than you realize. You don't have to be a slave to whatever appetites you feel or anger that you feel rising. You have the ability to make a choice. And so I just want to give you that.
How? She's got 3 kids and
but your reaction, you're totally justified.
I was raised in a household that was on the more angry side, so I try to think, okay, I know it was stressful for her too, so I'm trying to make those choices. Like I do all the kids' sports, I try to do everything for everybody else, so I feel like sometimes like that, my time at night is my bad time.
You need some tiara time. That's what I think. I mean, if I didn't want to rip this out of my hair right now, I would give it to you, but that's what she needs.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I wish you the best. All right, you had a question? Yeah. Stand on up.
Hi. I have a question. I have a lot of problems at work, and my mother is in Europe, and she's been very sick, and I miss her terribly. And it's like my life isn't working very well. I do eat well. I do work out, but still, I cry a lot, and I have a sleep disorder. Like, I either sleep for 13 hours or I can't fall asleep at all. And my body is really exhausted, but it's just not working. And my period is totally a mess. So
it sounds to me like you're under a ton of stress with your mom in Europe and your work. It sounds to me like cortisol is pretty high.
Yeah.
One of the consequences of that is that it can ruin your mood. So there's many ways that shows up. Sometimes depression, sometimes people need medication, especially if symptoms are more severe.
I don't want to do that.
And the other piece I would consider, because of the sleep, is that you may want to look at your cortisol levels, test them, where you look at them at 4 different times during the day. And then
there's a test. I actually have that. It's like pH test. I mean, I can't believe how much I know for someone that doesn't know anything. Yeah, there's a test you can do. I haven't done it yet, but you get up first thing in the morning and you basically spit on this thing and you test your cortisol levels, and you want to do it on a work day, right?
Yes. Yes.
Ooh.
Nicely done, Ricki.
Patting myself on my tiara back. But no, I think, and then in doing that, once you have your levels, then you can figure out a way to adjust that.
Well, what we measure improves. So I think it's so important to know what you're dealing with, rather than just kind of shooting in the dark. You already eat well, you meditate. I would say the next level is to test you and then figure out, okay, if your cortisol is high at night and that's why you're not sleeping, or you have unstable blood sugar and that's disrupting your sleep, then you go to the root cause and you treat that.
Okay, that sounds like great advice. I wish you the best. Thank you so much. Thank you. We have a question from our friends at Ricki, how they de-stress, and here is what they had to say. Our first Facebook post is from Barbara, who says, walking and vodka help relieve her stress. Does that make sense? Is a little vodka okay?
Walking's definitely a great idea. We know that exercise is so helpful for managing stress. Now, the tricky thing about exercise is there's some forms of exercise, like running, that actually raises cortisol. So you want to be careful about what form of exercise you're doing. Vodka is another story.
Alcohol certainly does make you feel relaxed in the moment, but we actually know that it stimulates the stress system and can actually elevate your cortisol. So it can actually, while it's making you in the moment feel better, it can actually physiologically make you worse. And an even bigger problem is that most of us, we like to have a drink after work in the evening to wind down, and it actually profoundly affects your ability to go into deep sleep. So again, even though you may fall asleep more easily, and people may unfortunately use it to try to fall asleep if they're stressed, your quality of sleep is going to be worse, and then the next day you're going to be more stressed, and then the cycle's just going to continue.
All right, again, my cortisol level just went up with that information.
I'm so sorry.
Wow. All right, we're going to take a quick break. This is all great information. I really appreciate your questions, you guys, and I appreciate the advice. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this. Some of the de-stressing action. For those of you at home, please join us. First, we're going to have a little mood lighting going and a little mood music. Okay, yeah, it's a vibe, it's a vibe. Okay, so Dr. Sara, you're going to lead us, oh, don't burn yourself. You're going to lead us into a de-stressing exercise.
Yeah.
What do we do?
Okay, so I want you to Sit up straight. Let your spine lengthen. And just start to notice your breath. And I want you to put one hand or both hands on your belly. And just starting to notice your breath. I want you to lengthen your inhale and lengthen your exhale.
All right, that was great. Thank you so much. If that didn't relax you enough, everyone in our audience, get ready for this. You're going home with a gold facial from Renee Lynn Medical Aesthetics. And you're going home with a Thai massage from Oasis Thai Massage and acupuncture. And you're getting acupuncture and chiropractic treatment from Tao of Venus Wellness Center. And a massage from Heather Strong Massage. 3 candles from 100candles.com. Damn. If that doesn't lower your stress level, I got nothing else for you. Remember, balance is key, and it is important to make Tiara time for yourself. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.